everybody. At this time, I'll call our January 2021 board meeting to order and turn the floor over to you, Dr. Gladney.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to say good evening, board, and I'd like to say good evening to everybody who is here with us at the Performing Arts Center, as well as those folks who are watching us online on Rebel TV. Thank you for joining us for the January Board of Education meeting this evening. Before we begin, Mr. Chair, I'd like to ask everybody to observe a moment of silence. We had some young people, a part of our high school community, that were involved in an automobile accident, and without going into too many details, they need our thoughts and prayers, sir. So I'd like to just open up with a moment of silence before we go to the invocation and the pledge. Thank you. At this time for the invocation, I'm going to ask that Lieutenant Darvin Couch from the Fannin County Sheriff's Office. Lieutenant Couch is our head SRO. He's also the chaplain of the Fannin County Sheriff's Office. If we would ask Lieutenant Couch to come up to the podium, and he's going to lead us in the invocation for this meeting.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Watson. Everyone to stand. Let's bow our heads. Our Heavenly Father, God, we come to you once again today. God, we thank you for this day that you've given us. Thank you for watching over us thus far. I ask that you continue to watch over us as we go throughout the rest of the evening. I ask that you be with board members this evening, be with the meeting. Lord, we ask that you just lead, guide, and direct them the way you'd see fit. Lord, we thank you for everything that you've done for us and continue to do for us, and ask that you'd just go with us and pray that we'd be found doing that you'd have us to do that'd be pleasing unto thee. And we thank you for it all. In your sweet and holy name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Lieutenant Couch. At this time, we'll ask if Deputy Tracy Summers, who's also a school resource officer with the Fannin County School System, if he'll come to the podium and lead us in the pledge to the flag. And I'll direct everybody's attention over here to this corner of the stage.
I'm going to say attention, salute, and pledge. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Deputy Summers, and you may be seated. Mr. Chair, item number 4, board reorganization.
Turn it over to you. Don't you do the chair, sir?
Yes, sir. I will go ahead and assume chairmanship of the meeting. And at this time, for board reorganization, we must identify a chairperson of the Board of Education for 2021. So, as chair of the meeting at this time, I will open the floor for nominations among the board here for chair for 2021. Do I have any nominations?
I nominate Mr. Galloway.
I second the motion.
Okay, we have a nomination for Mr. Galloway. Are there any others? Okay, I will close the nominations at this time, and actually, if it's okay, we could take that as a motion. Mr. Bramlett, did you make a motion? And so we will take it as a second, and so at this time, I'll call for a vote. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of Mr. Galloway as chair? Okay, and that is a majority, and Mr. Galloway, are you going to abstain? So,
yes, sir.
Okay, Ms. Sisson, let the record reflect. And so at this time, congratulations, Mr. Chair. I'll turn the meeting back over to you for the purpose of finding a vice chair.
Thank you, and thank you, fellas. I appreciate it. It's an honor and definitely a blessing to work with you. So this time, I'll open the floor for nominations for vice chair.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to recognize Mr. Bramlett as vice chair.
Any other nominations? Hearing none, I'll close nominations at this time. I need a motion and a second for Mr. Bramlett.
You have a second.
Okay, I'll make that motion then. So, all in favor?
Okay, thank you.
All right, turn the floor back over to you, sir.
All right, thank you. I'm sorry? Okay. Next item on the agenda is for board reorganization is to set the time, place, and date of the board meetings for 2021, and we could go ahead and take a look up here. We do have a legal notice prepared, Mr. Chair, that would allow us to basically do the same thing in 2021 that we did in 2020, which was the Board of Education would meet on the second Thursdays of each month, and the meetings ordinarily would be held down at the main office just right down the hill here on the campus, 2290 East First Street at 6 p.m. I will say that as long as we're under a pandemic, we will continue to notify the public and the news media that we will meet up here as an exception, not the norm. Our intention is as soon as possible to be able to return back to our Board of Education office for the meeting. So with that said, sir, I recommend that we proceed forward with the meeting dates and times as stated on the screen.
Can the chair have that motion as stated?
You have that motion to that effect?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All right. All those in favor?
Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda, number 5, is to approve the consent agenda, and this is comprised of 2 parts. The first, of course, is to approve tonight's agenda as A, and then B is to approve the minutes. So we'll ask Mr. Inslee to go ahead and open that attachment and give you an opportunity to scroll through, and he'll scroll through for the folks in the audience. Thank you, Mr. Inslee. So, Mr. Chair, I recommend to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Can the chair have that motion?
So
Make
moved.
that motion.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Okay, thank you. Item number 6 is special recognitions, and we've got a few up here for you this evening, and I'm going to ask Mr. Inslee to open the first one. Last Saturday, I'm sorry, sir, there on the right, National Law Enforcement Appreciation. Thank you. Last Saturday, January 9th, was National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day, and we've got some folks that we want to introduce here, so I'm going to ask if you want to just come on up here to the stage, Mr. Danner, and let's bring them up and tell who they are and where they are, and let's get a photograph with the board. We're so proud of these folks that are here with us over here.
Yeah, good afternoon, Board. We reached out to the sheriff and the SROs to see if they were available tonight, and they are actually. Sheriff had to decline at last notice there because the Sheriff's Department is so short-handed. But we do have our SROs here with us today. Anthony Walden, who's assigned at the middle school, he's actually ill, so he's not here tonight. But gentlemen, when I call you, come on up to the stage. Lieutenant Couch. He's the commander of the SROs with the Sheriff's Department. His primary location is at Fannin County High School. Deputy Summers, Tracy Summers, is assigned to West Fannin Elementary. That's his primary location. Deputy Jim Burrell, he's at Blue Ridge Elementary. And Deputy Thomas Kay, his primary location is East Fannin Elementary. Again, we can't tell you how appreciative we are of these guys and, keep our schools safe. And, but again, we just want to do a special appreciation to them.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
We appreciate these
Chairman,
fine
may I-
officers so much. Let's give them a round of applause for the job that they do for us.
Mr. Chairman, may I make a comment?
Sure.
On the way to the meeting tonight, I was following one of these officers, Mr. Summers, and he stopped in the middle of the road and let two ladies walk across the road. And I thought it was very commendable of him. It looked good, like a small town, happy city where the police officers and the public are compatible and loving. And that's the comment he made, that it's our country, it's our city, when I talked with him, which was very, very pleasant to watch.
Thank you. Okay, our next item under recognition, someone ask Lucas Roof, come up to the front, please.
Good evening, Board. As we mentioned I believe it was last meeting, we have a special recognition, a STEM award, and this is an award given by the Georgia Youth Science and Technology Centers, GYSTC. And what I would like for us to do, and I've talked with Dr. Gwatney about this as well, and what I'd like to do is every year nominate one of our teachers from Fannin County for this award. And this is a highly competitive, highly prestigious award, so there's no guarantee that we will get this award, but this year we did, and so we're really excited. And this award does go to Kim Patterson, and I have my letter of recommendation. I'm just going to read parts of it before we bring her up here to receive this award. I wrote, I highly recommend Ms. Kim Patterson to be a recipient of the 2021 Georgia STEM Scholar Award. Ms. Patterson is the STEM Lab teacher at West Fannin Elementary School. While I was the principal of West Fannin from 2016 to 2020, Ms. Patterson was an integral part of improving STEM education throughout the school. She was also a key component of West Fannin obtaining Georgia DOE STEM certification in March of 2018. And I can tell you that it went far before that. When Mr. Inslee was there, it was the same thing. Ms. Patterson was an integral part of what we were able to accomplish out there. She teaches students from kindergarten to 5th grade. Within her STEAM lab, she incorporates state-mandated math and science standards, the engineering design process, and scientific inquiry into every STEM project she does. She inspires students to think critically, problem solve, have perseverance, communicate effectively, and develop the self-confidence they need to succeed now and in the future. She also integrates computer science, coding, and robotics into her lessons for all students when possible. Ms. Patterson has partnered with many community members and businesses throughout Fannin County and beyond. Not only does Kim Patterson perform STEM magic in her classroom, but she also collaborates regularly with all teachers at West Fannin to help serve and support them in their creation of effective STEM lessons and units. Without the dedication and talents of Ms. Patterson, West Fannin would not be where it is today when it comes to STEM. She has also inspired such a large number of students and parents to take STEM seriously over the last 4 years that the local middle school and high school are now taking significant progress in STEM education. Thus, not only has Ms. Patterson humbly helped West Fannin, but she has also helped our entire school system and our entire community. Due to her dedication to STEM education and the positive impact she has had on the students, teachers, and parents of Fannin County, I highly recommend Ms. Kim Patterson for this award and scholarship. She perfectly represents the intended qualities of this award. And so, Ms. Patterson, with that said, will you please come up here and receive your award on the stage? I would also like for Ms. Allison Danner to join us, and also Ms. Robert Inslee and Dr. Gwatney.
You too, Mr. Roof. I could speak firsthand to her teaching ability. I had the opportunity to teach across the hall from her for 1 year, and Miss Patterson's a great teacher. I learned a lot from her just being next door to her. It's not that long ago. All right, our next, I'm going to ask Sarah Rigdon to come up to the front, and Assistant Superintendent Sarah Rigdon, y'all be thinking of some difficult words for this next one right here.
I know it. Good evening, Board. Today we had a very exciting day in the school system. It was our annual GAE Spelling Bee, District Spelling Bee, and so we had the 4 winners from each of the schools, the 3 elementaries and the middle school, join us here at the PAC so we could be socially distant, and we had our spelling bee. It went for 54 words, and for 4 vocabulary words, it was quite the bee. So we did have, like I said, the 4 competitors, and our winner is actually here tonight. The winner this year for our district spelling bee is Miss Annalise Hughes, who was here representing Fannin County Middle School. So she is here this evening with her mom, if you'd like to stand up and give a wave.
Bring them up here.
Bring her up.
Put them up here.
Okay.
Yeah, come up here. Come on.
Okay. The other contestants that we had today, we had Mr. Ethan Lindsay, who represented Blue Ridge Elementary School, Abby Pickard, who represented West Fannin Elementary School, and the first runner-up this year is Adeline Barnes from East Fannin Elementary. They did a phenomenal job. It was a lot of really tough words. So it was a fun event to kind of oversee, but I'm certainly looking forward to Miss Sarah Welch rejoining us soon.
Fun. It was a nail biter.
I was the nail biter.
Yeah, come on up. Miss Rigdon, come up here with your
Okay, awesome.
your winner.
Miss Ginger Hughes, would you like to come up also, Mama?
And also her principal is here, Mr. Knuckles. Come on up, Mr. Knuckles. Yeah. Etruscan was the winning word. Who can spell that aside from the young lady here? Great job. All right, Mr. Ansley, take the next one.
Yes, sir. It is my pleasure. Last month we announced that our board was an exemplary board, and the next day we actually got our hardware. So it is my pleasure to present to you, and I'll bring it up on stage. It's a beautiful piece of hardware, and we'll get up.
Yeah, open up the attachment too before you come up so that folks can see it. That's our press release. And then this is actually out of all the boards of education in Georgia. Scroll up one more page, Mr. Inslee. That's it, right there. So this is quite an honor right here. The boards of education that made this, and here it is right here. There's our award for 2020. So proud of this board of education. Mr. Inslee, come up here and present this award.
Mr. DeWeese needs to come on your side, Robert. Your side, the other side, that way. Okay, that works too. Perfect.
Board, congratulations. And there's how many levels of awards, Mr. Inslee? 3 levels of awards, and there's some boards that just, that don't pursue any of the required training to complete this, but this is the highest of the 3 levels. Anything else that you'd like to comment on about that? I just know it's a lot of hard work for you and a lot of hard work for this board, but they do it, and they do it for the kids of Fannin County.
Well, I just want to commend our board because not only did they receive it this year, we are already had one of our trainings this year, 6 hours of our training, and we will have an application that we will apply for 2021. So we're excited about that.
That's great. Congratulations, board. All right, the next item on the agenda is school governance team update, and we're going to ask Sarah Rigdon, Assistant Superintendent, to come up and give us an update of what the SGTs in Fannin County have been doing. Hello again, Ms. Rigdon.
Hello again. Okay, so every month I report to you about what happened the month preceding at the SGTs at all the campuses. So, Mr. Inslee, if you'll click December at the bottom. Thank you. East Fannin, they had an extremely brief meeting, which was held back on December 15th at 8 a.m. The sole purpose of that meeting was to approve their Title I carryover budget. Then we can move down to West Fannin Elementary. You know all about this meeting because this was the meeting that the Fannin County School Board observed during your 6-hour training earlier last month. So this is the meeting that the SGT had in their gym so we could all be socially distant. There were lots of good things that went on in that meeting. The highlight, of course, was their approval of the Title I budget, the carryover budget, and in that, Miss Allison Danner, did share a little brief video about a system that they're interested in purchasing called the Lou, using their Title I funds. And later this evening, I will come back to you again asking for your approval of that purchase because their SGT did approve, but since it costs more than $25,000, it's a capital outlay expense, and so this will also come before you before the end of this meeting. There were lots of other good things that went on in that meeting as well. They reviewed their school improvement plan, which is an important part of what SGTs do. They also looked at some schedule changes that were coming up and things like that for the next semester. So, Mr. Inslee, if you'll scroll up, the next SGT meeting that we had in December was on the 16th at the middle school. There were a couple of fundraisers, one for chorus, one for soccer, well, 2 for soccer. Of course, no field trips or facility use requests were approved during that month. They also approved their Title I carryover budget. They updated about their team about the COVID response and how quarantines are working. And Mr. Knuckles also shared an athletic extracurricular update with his team and discussed a little bit about winter sports that were in progress and that spring sports would be beginning soon, which is hard to imagine. So the next meeting came up later that same day on December 16th at 4:15 up at the high school. There were a ton of approved fundraiser requests. Of course, the high school has a lot of sports and teams and different groups that that have things that they want to purchase. And so a lot of different fundraisers were approved, including a Christmas ornament fundraiser, buttons for parents that was approved for the drama department, also the sale of some leftover concession items, which was 100% profit, and a SNAP Raise donation program where the school was keeping 80% of donations and out of the 100% collected. There was only one field trip. It was a CTAE field trip, which was, of course, a competition, and no facility use requests. Mr. Decubella shared Mr. Henson's athletic update, which was shared with you in December. Also, there was a discussion about curriculum, about the online learning students and how many of them were returning to campus this next semester. I will also be updating you on online learning in a few moments. Dr. Ramsey shared that there were really no facilities updates, but he did share that the school was planning to do some safety training very soon. There was a presentation by Mr. Bubba Gibbs about his AV Tech Engineering program at the high school, so he shared several interesting things about that. And also, Ms. Christy Gribble shared with the SGT about the FYI program that's very similar to Fannin Leadership that involves students at the high school. She's hoping very soon to restart this program this year with our high school students during their flex time. Of course, Ms. Gribble is one of our community representatives on the Fannin County High School SGT, so that's really cool that she's a part of that. So the last thing down there, Mr. Inslee, we did have a SGT meeting over at Blue Ridge to approve their Title I budget as well. They received $40,750 in carryover funds. They approved lots of different softwares for use with their students, and they also reviewed upcoming events that were scheduled for Blue Ridge Elementary during the months of December and January. So SGTs were extremely busy last month. Does anyone have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rigdon. I think it's neat that the board got to see one of those meetings in progress, and we actually have an item related to that we'll come to a little bit later on in the meeting.
Post these information sheets, and it gives some information about the faculty, some fun facts, some things, some hobbies, some things that students may not know, and just a way for our students to get to know our teachers, to foster those relationships and create a welcoming environment where our students feel comfortable with our teachers and know them in a better manner and create those relationships. So we're very excited about that, and we've had some very good feedback about that. And like I said, it's right outside the office, so when you're there, just go check out some of the things that are up there about the teachers. I talked about the challenges, some of the challenges that we faced, and one of those challenges has been the necessity to quarantine students. Our health and safety of our students is always going to be first, but with that, we have to make sure that we're supporting them so that the effect of being quarantined is minimal and they're not punished academically for having to go home for a period of days. So some of the things that we have done is set up virtual tutoring. Teachers are recording their lessons and posting them on Google Classroom so their students can see them. Teachers are setting up Google Meets so that the students can actually log in and see the class as it's happening and get the same information that the students who are in class are getting. The teachers are posting the assignments on their Google Classroom so that the students have access to it immediately. And then the students and teachers can always communicate via email. And if for some reason the students aren't able to get all their work done, during the time of their quarantine, once they return to school, they have the same number of days they missed plus one. So if they're quarantined for 7 days, then once they return to school, they'll have 8 days to make up the work that they missed. We want to make sure that we're giving them all the support we can so that, like I said, the effects are minimal. We've also turned our final exam days into grade improvement days. What that is when a student would normally take their final exam, they come to class, they come to that block on those days, and they do grade improvement assignments. Students who are failing are expected to attend, but any student can attend if they're just not happy with their grade. So this was something that we did at the end of the fall semester, and it's something that we're going to continue at the end of the spring semester as well, because it gives those students the opportunity. We realize that there's the possibility that some of these students may have been quarantined multiple times, depending on, just it's basically the luck of the draw. If they've sat around a student who's had a positive exposure, and we also realize that students have had positive cases of COVID. So with that being said, this gives them the opportunity, if they've had some downtime, to come in and work and improve their grade. Another challenge has been not being able to have some of the programs that we normally got to have. Among those, the Veterans Day program. I think this is probably one of the most important programs we do, if not the most important, because it gives our community and our school the opportunity to show appreciation for our veterans and the sacrifices that they have made. But since we couldn't do it in person, necessity dictated that we find a way to do it. So we had a virtual celebration for our veterans. And the result of that was that we were able to have Lieutenant Colonel Lisa Jaster speak. A very impressive lady, the first female Army Reserve officer to graduate Ranger School. She received 2 Bronze Stars. Just very impressive. But had we had this in person, she wouldn't have been able to speak because her schedule wouldn't have allowed it. So even though we're very excited about the opportunity to get back in person and bring our veterans on campus and show our appreciation in person, we're still very thankful that we got to do this virtual program and got to have her speak at it. And even though we have had some challenges, we've still got to continue with a lot of the things that we have normally done that benefit our students. And one of those is dual enrollment. Dual enrollment is where our students get to go and take college classes and get high school and college credit for them. So when they graduate high school, they've got college credits already earned. In the fall semester, 80 students enrolled in 141 classes. Young Harris, North Georgia Tech. The spring semester, that number has gone up to 93 students taking 157 courses enrolled in those same colleges with the addition of Toccoa Falls College. This is something that benefits our students financially because when they get out of high school and they go to college, they've already got courses out of the way, which saves them money. So we're very excited about that and excited about our students taking part in that. And then work-based learning. Work-based learning is a program that allows our students to work during the school day, earn credit for that, get paid, and get some real-world experience. We don't want Fannin County to be the end. We want Fannin County to be a vehicle where students can explore and grow their talents and go into that next phase of life. Whether it's the workforce, whether it's the military, whether it's college, whatever it is, we want to be able to provide opportunities for them to move forward in that. And work-based learning is an opportunity to do that. They work in anything from lawyers' offices to here at school. So we're very excited about that. We have 56 spots of work-based learning that are funded through a grant. All 56 spots of those are taken by 43 students in the fall and the semester because some students have to have 2 blocks of work-based learning because of their job. So another great program that our students take advantage of. I'm very excited about that, and our students are doing a great job with it. And then Apply to College Day. Apply to College Day is a great opportunity for our students because they don't have to pay application fees on this day. We have support staff on site that help them fill out the application, and as I said, they don't have to pay. And application fees can get pretty expensive, so that's a great opportunity for our students. I need to point out that guy's wearing an Alabama sweatshirt, and that's all I'll say about it. And it's all about our students. And this is a spotlight on our CTAE program and the many great things that are going on in there. We're very excited about what's happening with CTAE, the STEM Academy, and those type things that are happening. You can see the pictures there in the corner, the young man holding the pumpkin and the turkey. That's in our welding classes and the projects they did around the holidays. They made turkeys and pumpkins and Christmas trees and sold them as fundraisers. Welding, I think, is going to have one of the most tremendous impacts on our school that anything has in a long time. Our guys are excited about it and really getting into it, and I think it's going to provide them with a lot of opportunities for careers moving forward. So very excited about that. You can see there a picture of our engineering students who built robots and designed and built robots and then competed with those robots. I know members of our district staff got to come up and watch it, and I got to watch it. And it's just great to see these kids in their elements because kids have these talents, and we're providing them with opportunities to explore those talents and expand those talents. And that's what it's about. Everybody's not going to be a great football player, basketball player, but the talents these kids have, it's just so impressive. It's stuff that I could never do. I couldn't weld a pumpkin. So when these kids can come up there and do that, and we can really exploit that and get them publicity for that and get them opportunities for that, it's just so exciting for us. And then our fine arts program, these are our art classes. We offer pottery, drawing, photography, and again, these are some of the projects that our kids did. And again, our teachers do a great job of putting our kids in positions where they can show off their talents. And very thankful for that. And we have some very talented kids at Fannin County. It's great that we offer these opportunities where they can build on these talents. And maybe these talents lead to something down the road. And then talking about celebrations, talking about these talents. We always want to give a lot of publicity and always want to brag a lot about our kids and about our faculty and staff and the things that they do. Whether it's individual accomplishments like McKay Turner getting accepted to the Air Force Academy or Mason Bundy signing a scholarship with Liberty University to play football. Whether it's a team thing like our region champion football team and our region champion cross country team. We want to celebrate these and bring these forward. So I'm very proud to be able to share these with you and show you these because we got a lot of great things happening at the high school. And I'll finish up talking about our band, drama, and athletics. Our band had an outstanding season. You know, they got to perform on Friday nights, they got to compete, they got to host their band competition, which, you know, we didn't know for a long time if they were going to get to, culminating with an outdoor band concert in December on a beautiful day. And I think Mr. Barnstead summed it up best when he said, if you had told me, he said this to the crowd standing there, he said, if you had told me in December that I would be hosting a band competition or a band concert outside next December, I would have told you were crazy. He said, but if you'd have told me in August that I was going to get to host a band concert, period, I would have told you were crazy. So I think that kind of demonstrates kind of the ups and downs we've been through and the changes we've been through. But I thought that really illustrated kind of what it was all about at that point. Our drama, you know, with band and drama, the protocols and the restrictions are a little stricter because they're singing and they're playing instruments, so the virus travels further. So they've not been able to perform inside. And our drama teacher and drama program, kind of thinking outside the box to be able to perform and to be able to showcase those kids' talents, did an outside drive-through drama performance. And we had cars lined up, and they would drive onto campus, and they would go to the first performance, and they would watch it, and they would drive to the next performance and watch it. And there were 4 performances. And we had a ton of cars up here that day. It was a great success. Our one-act team will travel to Model on the 28th of January, and they will participate in the Region 1-Act competition. And then we'll see what happens in the spring as far as what we're able to do from performances. That's normally the time we do our spring musical, but you know, with the restrictions on singing and things like that, we may have to scale back. But just very proud of these groups of people and the way they have thought outside the box and been creative to still be able to perform and still be able to showcase what we're doing there. So very proud of them. And then finally, athletics. Football team was region champs, made it to the Elite 8 in football, were chosen as the team of the week. Coach Cheatham was chosen as the region coach of the year. We had multiple players who were chosen for all region and all state awards. So very excited about that and very proud of those guys and the work that they put in it. Our cross-country teams, our girls were the region champs, our boys were the region runner-ups. Cross-country is, you know, there's not a lot of people, they've got a say in that my sport is your sport's punishment. So they work hard and they did a great job. Volleyball made the state tournament. Our cheerleaders do a fantastic job working and preparing and being able to support our teams. And then softball works so hard throughout the summer and into the fall to get better. So we're very proud of our athletics and the seasons that we had in the fall. Right now we have wrestling and basketball going on. And wrestling we host here at Fannin County tomorrow. We host the area dual championships in the old gym, and we also have a home basketball game that is senior night for our basketball team. So a lot of stuff going on, a lot of positives. And I want to express my appreciation for our teachers and our coaches and our sponsors because they've worked so hard and they've done so many things that they don't normally have to do to ensure that our students get to keep learning and our teams get to keep competing, and very appreciative of the work they do. And I also want to thank y'all. Y'all have a thankless job. You get it from all sides, and we appreciate the support and appreciate the fact that you put students first. So with that, I'm done. I'm sure Mr. Danner's going to tell me how long I went, but I will stay for any questions.
Comment. This is good evidence to me why we have a graduation rate such as we do.
Yes, sir.
Every student must have something that's of great interest to them to cause them to want to come to school.
Thank you, guys.
Dr. Ramsey, thank you for that presentation.
Yes, sir.
Our next item on the agenda is central office update. And so at this time, I'm going to ask if Mr. Roof will come up to the front. He's going to share an update on CTAE and STEM in Fannin County School System. Good evening again, Mr. Roof.
Good evening. Mr. Danner, get your timer ready. I'll probably be longer, but I'll do my best. I'll be efficient. As Dr. Gwatney said, yes, I'm here. I'm very excited to be doing something besides a health update, and really excited about that.
Got that lined up for you next.
I'll be doing that next. But, CTAE, just a reminder, it stands for Career, Technical, and Agricultural Education. I would be remiss to not, bring up the first point here, and it's all about teamwork. We could not show you everything that's on This slideshow, without the team of teachers that we have in CTAE and our school administrators as well. I've really been blessed to be able to work with the high school administration team to make a lot of great things happen here. And also I want to make sure I point out Ms. Dubois, Ms. Patty Dubois, who, she was the CTAE director for many years, and you're going to see a slide on here that shows some of the great work that she did to help build the foundation for CTAE for us to continue to move forward and to continue to progress. And just really thankful again for all the teamwork that goes into it, and for y'all's support, the Board of Education. Your support for CTAE is unmatched, and I really do appreciate that. One thing, we do have a CTAE website. We're not going to go there right now, but I do want to point out to y'all that, or anybody listening, that you can get to that website two different ways. You can either go to the Fannin County School System website, go to departments, or go to the high school website and go to STEM and CTAE. Real quick, and I know this is a lot on one slide, but we have a lot of pathways, a lot of clusters and pathways in our CTAE department. I want to point out that all of our clusters and pathways, we don't just start throwing darts blindly at a dartboard to try to figure out what we're going to provide. We look at labor market projections. We work with our development authority and Miss Christy Gribble and many others to make sure that we are providing to our students the courses and the pathways that are going to set up students for the most success possible when it comes to in-demand careers, careers with high wage, and careers with high skill. We make sure that we provide those. I want to bring up, I have enrollment up there. During COVID, the enrollment in a lot of our classes has gone down, but it's still remaining steady enough for us to continue to provide all of these options for our students, and we're really blessed, extremely blessed for that. We have two programs that are industry certified right now. Industry certification is the pinnacle of success when it comes to a program according to the state of Georgia. Our engineering program is industry certified, and our healthcare program is industry certified. At the end of this year, our early childhood education program will be will be able to become industry certified. We'll be able to go through that process, and if we can land 3 industry certified programs, we'll be one of the only rural school systems in the state that can say that. So that's something that we're very, very proud of. I just listed a few of our business partners. I wanted to point out that all of our clusters have an advisory committee where people meet and they give advice on how we can better and how we can improve our programs, and we obviously make sure we brag on the great things we're doing, but it's all about improvement. And we have a lot of business partners that help out with those advisory committees. And I just listed some of them here, some of the ones recently that have been in the meetings and helping out and pitching in to, again, provide that support. Here are the other, it's a 2-page document, and here are the other clusters and pathways that we offer as well. So again, just really thankful to have all the options and the opportunities out there for our students. Just a list of all the CTAE faculty and staff. Just want to make sure I have a slide on there to show all their names and their responsibilities. Not going to go through and name all of them and talk through all that, because that would take a long time. But again, just want to make sure that I give them the credit they deserve, because again, it's a phenomenal team of teachers. I would put this team of teachers up against any team of teachers that we have anywhere in the state. They're great at what they do. They're passionate about what they do, and they're just great for the kids and the students, and just can't say enough about them. Here is what I was talking about. This just shows you right here the phenomenal work that Miss Patty Dubois did for so many years. If you look at the bottom row, these are our pathway completers every single year in our CTAE department. If you look back in 2012, 2013, we had 73 pathway completers. 73 students completed a CTAE pathway. Whereas if you look at 18-19, that number's up to 264. That's pretty phenomenal. I mean, that's just, that is very impressive. And then if you look now, showing last year in 1920 we had 281 pathway completers in the 1920 school year. The next two columns there we have broken down by semester because obviously this semester just started, but we are projected to have a total of 252 CTAE pathway completers this year. That is also extremely impressive during the COVID-19 situation that we're dealing with, because we have a lot of students that moved online, that moved out of their typical CTAE rotation, and to still be able to have 252 pathway completers, that's really, really good, especially for a school our size. Some shining data here. CTAE, our 4-year graduation cohort rate is 98.5%. So this means that our current graduation rate for all FCHS students over the past 4 years who took at least 2 CTAE courses in the same pathway is 98.5%. This shows that students who participate in CTAE are more likely to graduate high school. And I need to say this last statement. In CTAE, we believe that graduation is just the starting line. What our job is to make sure that the students are prepared once they move across that graduation stage, that they're prepared for life, that they're prepared for a career, prepared for technical school, or prepared for college or the military, that they have something they can do and something they can be proud of to have a successful life. Post-program placement, this is a fantastic percentage if you look at the rest of the state. Our post-program placement is 97.93%. This means that our current rate of students who took at least 2 CTAE courses in the same pathway and enrolled in post-secondary education or the military within 6 months is 97.93%. So that's, again, very impressive, and that just goes back to that teamwork. Some more great data. We had 159 students last school year to receive a dual graduation seal by completing a CTAE pathway at some point in their high school career. That's a 74% CTAE pathway completion rate for our last year's seniors. Again, that is extremely high compared to other school systems in the state. Want to point out our CTSOs. These are our career and technical student organizations. So we have those listed there along with their sponsors. This is what you were talking about, sir, Mr. Deweese. This is the epitome of the fact that these students have something to latch onto, something to be passionate about that keeps them driving and keeps them in school. I always go to the FFA events. I've been to the TSA events and helped prepare for some of the FCCLA events. And just to see those students and the passion they have and the drive that they have, you just know they're going to be successful. So I can't say enough about the CTSOs that we have. Just have a few pictures here, a few highlights. We've got 3 students here that have won at some of the FFA events. Have a picture here of some cattle, and the reason I have that is to remind me that we're very excited for the opportunity down the road to have a cattle barn, hopefully with our ag facility, to not only be able to show pigs and goats, but to be able to show the cattle as well. And then this guy here with the cowboy hat on, he's not just out there randomly smoking on any smoker. This smoker was built by our welding students. So that shows you again, the excitement that they have. They're out there, he's out there working with the kids and having real world projects where, they're building a smoker and then using it. That means a lot to those students. And you'll see some repeated pictures here from Dr. Ramsey's presentation. So I'll show one up there in the top right. That's Mr. Daniel Stewart and his construction class, and he does a great job with that. And then in the middle there, we have a student that's preparing for the Certified Nursing Assistant exam. And while I was in there observing that, all of the steps that she was having to go through when it came to that patient care and when it came to everything she was having to do, it was a list of about 50 things that she had to do in the correct order. It was extremely impressive. So those students, they have to know their stuff, and we're really proud of them. And then this picture in the top left, I don't know who that scary individual is there with a welding hood on, but no, that's Mr. Galloway when y'all came in with the board retreat. So I had to put that in there. That was a great picture. And then I wanted to make sure we remembered that Superintendent Woods also came to our school and got to see our CTAE program, and he was very excited about what we're doing. We had our healthcare students go to all 3 elementary schools and show the elementary school students CPR and other techniques when it came to sports medicine. So those were the sports medicine students doing that. Also, we had an elected officials breakfast yesterday morning, and that's in the bottom right there at our ag facility, and we were really excited about that too. When it comes to end of pathway assessments, all of our CTAE pathways have an EOPA, an end of pathway assessment. I want to highlight a few here that what these are. These are basically where you're putting something in a student's hand that means a job. I mean, that's what you're doing here. So for our welding program, the students have the opportunity to obtain what's called their American Welding Society Cent Certificate. Again, obtaining that is the first measure, the first certificate to earn in the field of welding to propel them to future success. Our occupational safety students are now having the opportunity to obtain their Occupational Safety and Health Administration OSHA 10 certificate. We have 31 students and more to come that have been able to do that. This is Mr. Gabe Lira. He's one of our top welding students. He's going to be successful, I guarantee it. And those students are able to obtain this. It stays good for 5 years. They can go onto a work site. So basically now we can send students onto a work site, and the work site doesn't have to worry about insurance. This covers them. So that's a big deal. That's huge. Healthcare science. We're introducing an allied health pathway next year that's going to allow for students to have a medical assistant certification. We have our patient care pathway where students are able to obtain the certified nursing assistant certificate, pharmacy with a pharmacy technician certificate, and then in the future, and this could be down the road, but we really have a goal of partnering with North Georgia Tech to allow students to be able to obtain their EMT certificate, their official EMT certification. And I put that we're leading the way with this. As I look around and I research and I get on all the other websites of rural school systems in the state of Georgia, I don't see any others that have 3 real certificates that we're putting in students' hands in the field of healthcare. We have 3 already, and we're going for 4. So, I mean, Fannin County, again, we are leading the charge when it comes to that. And that, again, that goes back to that teamwork. Very proud of it. Audio video, students are able to obtain their Adobe Premiere Pro. That's the industry-leading video editing certification. ServSafe food handler certification. Unity certified associate with our game design pathway, and then the cybersecurity certification. Again, those 2, if you look it up on, if you look and you research, those 2 are certifications that you'll hear. They're the first certification that a student needs to get to be able to move forward in that career. So also, very proud of those. A few success stories here. What you see up here at the top, this is one of our previous students who came back to speak to the engineering students. We have 5 girls at Georgia Tech right now that are majoring in engineering, and we have 1 at KSU majoring in engineering, and we probably have some others. That's a big deal. I'm proud of that. That's really incredible for us to have that. Habitat for Humanity. I have their logo on here with their permission. We are going to be partnering with the next Habitat for Humanity project. Miss Gribble helped me get this together, and our students, our engineering students, our construction students, and our welding students are going to help build a house for Habitat for Humanity. So we're partnering, we're interdisciplinary, and we're giving back to our community. You can't beat that. It's pretty incredible. And then down here at the bottom, our FFA students have partnered with a program called Positive Action, where our students are helping to prepare service dogs for our military veterans. So again, something to be pretty proud of there that our students are doing that, and that's what we have over there in the bottom right, a student that's proud of what she's doing there. We have a previous student, Blake Callahan, who studied engineering in Fannin County, and then now he's traveling the world working on cargo ships after studying engineering at Texas A&M Galveston. Wanted to give him props there. One interdisciplinary activity we've got, we have our healthcare teachers partnering with our food nutrition teachers, and they're making a cookbook for people with dietary needs, whether it be diabetes, heart disease, things like that. So again, that's those interdisciplinary connections, that collaboration that we desire. Our early childhood education, we just got an articulation agreement with North Georgia Tech. What that means is that our students can, if they complete our ECE pathway and pass the EOPA, they can exempt 2 classes at North Georgia Tech in that once they get there. That's a big deal, and we have the same thing that goes on with the university system of Georgia as well. We've had success with our certified nursing assistant students, even coming back and helping the school system as sub-nurses and helping with some of our students with medical difficulties. And then we have a University of North Georgia grant. It's an entrepreneurship grant that we helped to write along with UNG, where UNG was able to use that grant to have a position that's going to help our school system and our community with entrepreneurship and valuing that and forming those connections. Work-based learning, again, Ms. Dubois is over work-based learning. A few little things to point out here. Hours worked by our students in the first semester, 11,945. Wages earned by our students, $115,604.44. Worksite visits made, 120. So those are some pretty cool numbers for our students with the work-based learning program. And I put a few pictures up here for work-based learning as well. We have a student there at Mason Tractor that completed the ag pathway, is at Mason Tractor learning more about ag, and is that student's goal is either to go into an ag industry or to be an ag teacher. So that's a true youth apprenticeship situation right there. We have a student, actually Katie Finley, Miss Finley's daughter, that works with the Fannin Development Authority. And then we have a student, Miss Courtney Tamburino, that's now working down at the county office and helping out there. So really proud about those connections. Now STEM and STEAM. And what we've done here, all the schools are on board, all 3 elementary schools, middle school, and high school with STEM and STEAM. And it's all about collaboration between all of our teachers. I know that we have, you look at STEM and STEAM and it says science, technology, engineering, and math, but it's more than that. All of our teachers are collaborating to form those interdisciplinary connections for our students. That's what it's built on, and that's the goal, no matter what the subject is. Want to point out here that our logo on the right, that was created, Bryce Ware, one of our high school students, helped create that logo for us, our Fannin County School System STEM and STEAM logo. So that's pretty amazing. And then working together as a team, we created a STEM and STEAM graduate vision for a Fannin County High School STEM or STEAM graduate. And then we listed on there also, with the help of the school administrators, what each level can do to help propel a student to be a STEM or STEAM graduate in Fannin County. Elementary school STEAM, also Bryce Ware helped us to create those logos for each of our schools when it comes to STEM and STEAM. We got the Wildcat. That Wildcat looks good on everything, so we didn't have to do much changing on that. We've got the Yellow Jacket, and we've got the Bear, so pretty amazing that Bryce was able to help with all that. And so we have some pictures here of things we're proud of at East Fannin. Those students are participating in the pollinator census. We have West Fannin there in the middle. Those students are helping out with Adopt a Stream. Both sets of students are collecting data that's used for real-world implications. So that's always impressive. And then over here at Blue Ridge, we have a student that is working on a robotics challenge where I think it was a robotics obstacle course that student's working on. So again, very, very proud of what our elementary schools are doing with STEM and STEAM. At the middle school, we have agriculture, computer science, we have STEM lab, technology and innovation. We have those CTAE and STEM classes, and then we were able to provide entrepreneurship lessons this year for the first time which was something that we were really proud of at the middle school. We had several entrepreneurs that came in and spoke to our students and got our students, first explained to them what entrepreneurship meant, and then got them excited about it. So that was something that we were glad that happened at the middle school, and hopefully post-COVID we can have more and more of that going on. We do have, when it comes to the FCHS STEM program that we've been working on, we do have a video that we want to show that our students put together. While Mr. Inslee's pulling that up, again, I want to tell you that these programs that we're about to look at, they were built on inclusivity. So we've built them so that for as many students as possible. You'll see that we have a lot of offerings for as many students as possible when it comes to what we're rolling out for STEM at the high school, and that's something we're very proud of. It's not an exclusive thing. It's a situation where if a student's willing to work hard and willing to commit and is interested in it, we're there to help them. And it's also, like I've said, it's built on collaboration with our teachers and those interdisciplinary connections that are the goal to provide a real-world education for our students.
What is STEM?
STEM is project and problem-based learning. Students apply content from multiple disciplines to answer complex questions and develop solutions to real-world problems. The teacher takes on the role of facilitator. STEM is integrated math, science, and CTAE. Students are able to analyze and articulate interdisciplinary connections that exist within math, science, and CTAE.
The STEM program will collaborate with businesses, colleges, and community partners in the development of curriculum and assistance with making connections between the classroom and industry.
STEM students conduct investigative research. Students identify and support claims related to complex questions or real problems by supplying relevant data as evidence.
STEM is for all students. STEM adds relevance to learning and career exposure through real-world problem solving to increase student interest and engagement.
So why is STEM important?
STEM builds strong foundations for STEM literacy. STEM ensures that every student has the opportunity to master basic STEM concepts, including computational thinking. A STEM literate student will be better equipped to handle rapid technological change and will be better prepared to participate.
Fannin County High School seeks to provide all students access to high-quality STEM education. Our goal is to increase diversity, equity, and inclusivity in STEM. STEM prepares students for the future workforce by creating authentic learning experiences, encouraging and preparing students for college-educated STEM degrees and those working in skilled trades to pursue STEM careers. The FCHS STEM initiative brings together FCHS, college and universities, employers, and community resources to broaden and enrich each learner's educational and career journey, immersing learners in work-based learning experiences, internships, apprenticeships, and research experiences.
Inspires students to focus on complex real-world problems and challenges that require initiative and creativity. Interdisciplinary activities such as project-based learning promote innovative and entrepreneurship by engaging learners with interdisciplinary activity.
STEM builds computational literacy and empowers learners to responsibly and safely take maximum advantage of technology and recognizing that digital literacy empowers people with the tools to find information, answers, and share ideas.
What will STEM look like at FCHS? The FCHS STEM programs of study are varied to meet the unique career goals of STEM students.
For students interested in engineering, the economic forecast is quite favorable for both careers and college majors. High school students interested in attending a top engineering college will benefit from participating in the STEM engineering pathway. From freshman to senior year, the STEM engineering program of study will help students select classes that best prepare students for engineering STEM degrees.
Healthcare is an essential part of life, creating a higher demand for all kinds of healthcare-related services. Patients need proper care for compassionate people, and the healthcare providers need to find the right people to find these positions. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reports that the healthcare industry is expected to add more jobs than any other field from 2014 to 2024. The FCHS STEM healthcare program of study will prepare students for a wide range of healthcare careers.
Job market is ready to receive the STEM graduates. Reports indicate the number of new jobs requiring a STEM background will grow 17% by 2024. Agriculture is the #1 industry in the state of Georgia and continues to be one of the top local industries. Why should agriculture be a part of STEM? The study of agriculture, food, and natural resources involve biology and genetics, engineering, physics, chemistry, math, geology, hydrology, and other scientific fields. The beginning salaries and careers earnings for degree involving agriculture or natural resources are often found right next to other STEM degrees like engineering. There are excellent careers in agriculture, food, and natural resources that will require future leaders and professionals who can effectively execute 21st century skills.
Benjamin Franklin, an American inventor, once said, "An investment in knowledge pays the best interest." The construction and welding industries demand STEM skills. The labor market nationwide points to an ever-growing skills gap. Today's skilled labor forces require knowledge of science, technology, engineering, and math to stay competitive and relevant in an increasingly high-tech and global market. Today's job sells for innovation. Innovation is driven by STEM, and those who don't possess STEM skills will quickly get left behind.
Audio-video careers are an exciting career option. The film industry is the second largest industry in the state of Georgia. The widespread adoption of AV technology is just one reason for the industry's popularity among forward-thinking professionals. AV professionals are in the experience business, combining content, space, and technology to craft and invent, communicate a message, elect a response, create an understanding, give people a reason to cheer, or move them to tears. Audio-video careers include designer, project managers, installers, live event professionals, and technology managers. AV professionals are a community of creative, tech-savvy people who also have a lot of fun creating amazing projects and experiences.
Additional requirements for students within Fannin County High School's STEM programs of study include active participation in at least one STEM or CTAE competition group and/or club, completion of at least one community-based STEM project per year, completion of CTAE pathway requirements and other course requirements, STEM internship, apprenticeship, clinical rotation, or scientific research.
As you prepare for high school and for life, please consider joining one of our STEM programs of study. You will be part of a special program that will only benefit you. You will be a STEM graduate at Fannin County High School, which will look great on your resume, college applications, and job applications. You will look back and be thankful that you took part in this adventure.
So that video was prepared by our audio-video students, and I want to also give Miss Amy Williams, the academic coach at the high school, props for her work on that as well. She worked very hard on that, and we're really proud of it. So that video obviously is there to help promote the program to 7th and 8th grade students, and you can find that website. Just go to the Fannin County High School website, and again go to STEM and CTAE. And then as the video explained, and I'm not going to go into all the details here, but there are 5 programs of study we're starting with. One of them is an advanced medical program of study. The one thing I'll say about that is it would not be possible without our partnering with the Fannin Regional Hospital and sitting down with Mr. Jason Jones over there, and he's ready to go to offer the students, once they get to the final part of this, offer them opportunities to go through and have clinical rotations and job shadowing opportunities right there at the hospital. And so we're really proud of that partnership. None of these programs of study would be possible without our community pitching in and having those community partnerships. So we're, again, really thankful for those. You've got the engineering program of study. Again, having opportunities for those students to have the internships at the end that are engineering based. That's something that we're really proud of. The video said it all, though. We've got the community-based projects, the competition groups, and all of these classes that the student would have to complete. So, to summarize it for all of these, here's the audio-video program of study. For all of these programs of study, it's all about collaboration. It's all about the interdisciplinary connections, the community partnerships. Here's ag, and here's construction. So it's all, it's all about those things I just mentioned. And, as far as we know, Fannin County, we're one of the first schools that we're offering a STEM program through construction, through agriculture, and through audio video. We're going outside the box with this, and we're really thankful to be able to do that. And these are also set up for sustainability. I feel like these are set up to something that can last, and we're really proud of that part too. But obviously, it's all about the students. It's student-centered, and the main reason for these and the main goal is to help our students continue to be able to compete versus other students from other areas, from other places all over the nation and all over the world. And that's what we want. And I think that these, or we think that these are going to provide that. And again, just thankful for the teamwork that went into them. I want to say thank you to the board members. Thank you to Spliced. Our welding lab, all that welding equipment wouldn't be possible without Spliced. The future of a cattle barn. And then FCHS, we've got a kiln and a chemistry lab, vent hoods coming, got a greenhouse coming at Blue Ridge, outdoor classroom improvements at East Fannin, and then a Charlie cart, which is like a mobile cooking lab, coming to West Fannin, and none of that would be possible without Spliced. So I know it was lengthy. We had a lot of great things to show you, though, and a lot of good news. So y'all hung in there, and again, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Roof. Board comments?
I can't help it. And every bit of that has to be a teacher somewhere.
That's right.
That's right, sir.
And they must be busy teachers to bless our children that way. That's a beautiful thought, a beautiful report. Our kids are blessed.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Going back a year ago, it was 1 year ago at the January 2020 board meeting that I was introducing Mr. Roof to you as the new director. And he was beginning his first semester as a director. Remember, he came in mid-year last year with us. And I will say he inherited a great foundation from Ms. Dubois. Ms. Dubois had a great vision for the program. The state was sending CTAE changes our way with the new Perkins funding grant. And so, with your blessing and with also Ms. Dubois' blessing, we were able to take advantage of that timing and transform the program in such a way that success doesn't occur in isolation. We have significant amount of success in this district occurring at all 5 schools. And it is what you said, Mr. DeWeese, the teachers, they make that happen at all levels. But the one thing that I'm most proud of with Mr. Roof is that, one of his first tasks when he got the job was I talked to him about what's his title going to be. And remember that, Mr. Roof? And he gave it quite a bit of deliberation about what his title was going to be. But he realized, and he says it in his title, Director of Applied and Integrated Instruction, he recognizes, because he's a former high school teacher, he's had experience at the elementary school, and he's familiar with all levels of instruction. His task, what I tasked him with, he is knocking it out of the park right now, is to take all of those pockets of success that are occurring, because success doesn't occur in isolation. He's tying it all together. And he's involving the Development Authority. He's on that board. He's on the hospital board. He's bringing in that medical piece that we talked about. He's also a doctoral student at the University of Georgia, Go Dogs. And they're quite fond of him down there. I still maintain my ties down there at that school. And but what he's doing is he's taking that research there and bringing it here. And he is applying it, and he is tying together the great things that are happening in this district and putting it out there for everybody to see. And the things that you saw in this presentation right here, that is pre-K through 12. That is the results of all work in the district coming together. And as that child gets closer to graduation, that success, they just funnel right in, and they come out, and this is the product that we have. He knows that the vision for this district is to have STEAM implementation at all schools. He's taking us there. And also, CTAE is now pre-K through 12. And he's combined the STEM, combined the CTA, just like he's been asked to do. I can tell you one thing, folks, this is just the beginning. And it is sustainable, as he said. And so this is of course, you've done a great job delivering this and organizing this. But the complete credit goes to this district, pre-K through 12. And all of this, Mr. Roof had not quite 2 months and 2 weeks of normal time to put all this together, and then the rest of his year was in a pandemic. So just wait as we move forward. Very impressive, Mr. Ruth.
Thank you, sir.
I just wanted to say this is so exciting. One of the comments that we have received over the past few years from our constituents is they'd like to see us offer a more balanced educational program. We've had great success with college prep. This is the fruition of those efforts, and it's so exciting. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
The word that I kept hearing was collaboration, inclusion, inclusivity, and the collaboration piece. By tying that together and getting folks collaborating, this is the result. This is what you get, and it's only going to get better. It's going to continue to grow, and our kids will benefit. Our community will benefit. Any other questions for Mr. Ruth? All right, it was a bit long, but it took a little bit of time to get that explained. You did a good job, Mr. Ruth. All right. So you can just stay right where you're at, and we're going to ask Ms. Rigdon, Assistant Superintendent Sarah Rigdon, if you'll come up and join him at the podium. We'll go ahead and change gears, because as I just said, he became a director in January, and then one of his, the directors do a lot of different things here in the school system, and one of the duties that Mr. Ruth was assigned was to oversee our nursing program. He certainly, he grew up in the medical environment. He's familiar, and he's done a great job, but little did he know that by March, working with the nurses would have also entailed inheriting all that comes with managing and leading a school in the middle of a pandemic. And so we have our district health update for you, and I've invited Assistant Superintendent Rigdon to come up to the front too, because she's got a couple of updates on online learning and immunization ahead of Mr. Ruth's presentation. So Sarah, good evening.
Good evening again. Thank you so much. So here are some updated numbers for our online learners. Currently in the whole school system, we have 2,902 students, and our total in online learning currently is 348. So that breaks down to 142 students who are in kindergarten through 8th grades in online learning, and in 9th through 12th grades, it's 206 students total that are in online. So that is a 12% population of online or virtual learners for this semester. 88% of our students are showing up face-to-face, and so we're extremely excited about that, and we're thrilled to be able to keep our doors open and be able to educate our kids in what we believe is the best setting, which is the face-to-face setting. Our highest online learning enrollment this year occurred back in early October with 440 students who were enrolled in that program. Since Christmas, 74 kids who had been in online left online and returned to our classes in our schools in this January. So while I'm talking about online, I thought I would update you or remind about the high school online learning deadline before students would be required to have a doctor's note to join online learning. Last semester it was not a requirement. This semester it is a requirement because we had many, many students who struggled moving between the two platforms, face-to-face or online. And so students do have until January 20th to change that election, but after that date, it will require a doctor's note to be able to go to online learning. And as a reminder, in 21-22, we do not plan on offering online learning to our students because we are a face-to-face school system, and we are anxiously awaiting the day that we can return everyone back to our schools. We're excited about that. Would you like for me to go on to the next one?
Go
about
ahead.
the vaccinations?
Yeah, unless there's any questions about the online learning piece, board. Okay. Talk a little bit about our partnership with the county government.
Absolutely. So you may have been watching the news in Atlanta. Lately, they have been talking about school systems possibly helping their employees, maybe surveying them to see if any would like to take a vaccine, and then trying to help facilitate the process. The Fannin County School System actually began that process last Friday, January 8th, with a survey of all our employees to find out who would be interested in taking an immunization if it were available. This came about because of EMA Director Robert Graham reaching out to Superintendent Watney to find out if we would like to be partners with them in making sure that this happens for those who are interested. So we did develop a survey which we sent out. The survey did go out to employees, but also all of our substitutes. So if it's substitute teachers, substitute nutrition, substitute bus drivers, anyone who works for us in any capacity got the survey. We had 397 employees who responded to that survey, and of those, 201 indicated that they would like to have a vaccination. So this is about 50% of the school population who is interested in having a vaccine once it becomes available to educators in Phase 1B. As you know, right now we are in Phase 1A+, which includes healthcare workers, residents of long-term care facilities, and first responders, and also those aged 65 or older were added to that group in the last few days. So Mr. Robert Graham has agreed to help us get these vaccinations scheduled, and we are super excited to announce that we will have our first 6 employees be able to take a vaccination next week. These employees are also in that protected group of people that are 65 years and older. So we are awaiting the opening of Phase 1B for educators, and once that happens, the county government is going to help us out by helping us to get it scheduled. They will administer all of the vaccinations and oversee the process, but we are facilitating and helping any employee who feels led to take the vaccination. We're going to help them get that done. So we're extremely grateful for Mr. Robert Graham and our partnership with county government so that we can help take care of our employees, and whatever they elect that they want to do, we're in support of it. So do you have any questions about the vaccinations?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Rigdon. And so for the final piece of this, we'll go back over to Mr. Roof with COVID-19 data.
This won't last as long as the CTAE STEM update, I promise. All right, so if we pull up the data, of course, just a reminder that we update it every Friday morning. We've already got some preliminary data ready to go right now, and I can tell you, when you look at the data that we have here, we are going to see an increase in student quarantines, both school-related and non-school-related. Both of those quarantine groups are going to. You're going to see a slight increase to the non-school exposure, and then you're going to see a pretty large increase in the school exposure quarantines, and then you'll see an increase in the student positives, and then kind of right around the same for the employee positives. And I say all that to say, right now, again, talking with people from Fannin Regional Hospital and Union General Hospital, we're talking to reliable sources from those 2 facilities. We are definitely not out of the woods with this. I know that we got the vaccine there, Phase 1A, and everybody's excited about it, and we feel as though that down the road we are going to see be out of this phase of life. But right now, unfortunately, we're still in this phase of life, and we have to just continue to be very, very mindful of all of the protocols that we're supposed to be following, wearing the masks for our adults. Students, again, it's optional, but encouraging it, and washing hands, hand sanitizer, and as one individual says, assuming that everyone has COVID-19. That's kind of, we're still in that part of life where if we can kind of go through and kind of assume that, then it will help more people stay healthy. Best thing to say is just continue to again, be very, very careful and follow those health protocols from the Department of Public Health. And I'll remind everybody of that too, that the protocols we're following when it comes to quarantining, we're following those because those are our guidelines from the Department of Public Health.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Roof. And I will say that we expected this increase, especially based on the fact a little bit before Labor Day, we saw an increase with the summer. After Thanksgiving, we saw an increase after that holiday. We were anticipating, for the same reasons, an increase after, and it looks like that's what we're going to see tomorrow. And so this data right here was posted with folks back, teachers back all week, and students back really just 2 days because we missed last Friday due to weather. So.
Yes, sir.
Any questions about this data? And it's always available online through the school district website. Thank you, Mr. Roof. All right.
Thank y'all.
Next item is public comment. Mr. Danner? No public comment? Okay, we will move forward then. The next item is also yours, Mr. Danner. Welcoming Assistant Superintendent Darren Danner to share an update on facilities.
On facilities, yeah. First off, recorded work orders completed since July the 1st, 993. I was hoping to hit the 1,000 mark when we do. Going to treat the guys there to a little something. Don't know what's going to be. They love to eat, so it's probably going to be some sort of food. I don't have pictures. We've updated cameras at Blue Ridge, East Fannin Middle School, and the high school. It's really hard to show pictures of that. So, again, that's our SPLOST money working for us to make our schools more safer and more secure. The pictures we got here got a very disturbing phone call from Blue Ridge City. Said we had a water leak at the nutrition department. And said, well, you know, how bad is it? And he said, well, 70 gallons a minute. Not 70 gallons an hour, 70 gallons a minute, but you can tell why that pipe is completely busted. So he turned the water off for us, Mike Sperling and I. The next day, Mike was actually on a vacation day. Said, Mike, I hate to call you, but we got a problem. So Robert, just go ahead and scan through there. First several pictures are up there. It got destroyed pretty good. So we got two valves up there. Just keep going, Robert. Two valves that we get one fixed, turn the water back on, find another one. We'd, turn the water back on, fix it, find another one. We end up 4 different times. One time we actually had to redig it. And the last time there at the meter that you can see, the very bottom box, we had all of our stuff on our side of the meter completed. So we had to call Blue Ridge City. They had to come up and to repair the meter because it was leaking out of it. But that's been corrected there. That night, the night of that was fixed, get another call from Blue Ridge City. He said, well, you got a leak. I said, oh, you got to be kidding me. Thought it was the same place. This time it was at Blue Ridge Elementary School. Evidently, it must have been going for a while. It was 80 gallons an hour, so not anything like this. So again, the manpower, we just didn't have the manpower to do that, and plus everybody's on vacation. This was during Christmas break. And so we finally found the water line. Our plans were incorrect. Mike actually called Danny, and Danny says, yeah, I know exactly where that line was, just going from memory. So again, Danny helped us out greatly on this, Mr. Shimpaul. So we called a contractor in, started to go find the leak. Dug at 4 different locations, could not find the leak. And he was finally at the point now. We was getting ready to have to dig up the whole parking lot just to find the leak. He said, why don't you put new lines in? I said, let's do it. So this is the finished product there at Blue Ridge. We've still not got it paved yet. We're waiting on the paver to come to take a look at it. So again, we've actually added another valve to help us isolate some things. But here's some work that was done there at Blue Ridge. This was a 3-inch line that was leaking. Where the grass is there that's dug up, the water line, instead of coming in a straight line, went down that hill, come up in the middle of the driveway, and then for whatever reason they put it in the same ditch that the sewer and the fire extinguisher lines or the fire line is. So again, at least we know exactly where that line is now if we ever have any more issues. But again, it's just more secure and everything else. So hopefully get it paved as soon as the paving contractor will come up there. So that was a pretty big project over spring, or over the Christmas break.
Okay, thank you. Any questions on the facilities update? Okay. All right, we'll go to the construction update next, Mr. Danner.
Construction update. This is the core property. Several pictures there. This is after the buildings were demolished that y'all approved last month. So several pictures there. Just keep right on going there, Robert. So these are this is before the asphalt was ripped up. So again, this was during the process there. And then there'll be some pictures of what it looked like before the buildings were tore down. If you actually go by the property now, of course, we've got the gate still up, but yeah, it definitely looks tremendously different than those pictures there. And then actually the asphalt was ripped up this last week. So again, it's ready for construction. Which brings us to the next attachment there. You know, I'm not going to read all these by far, but Dr. Gwatney again charged me when I was first hired at the central office to go find property. I said, "What we need property for?" He said, "Well, for a bus garage." So, or transportation facility. We're not going to call it a bus garage. It is a transportation facility. So that happened beginning roughly, it's probably actually before January 2019. And Mr. Foster and I, Benny Long, when he was still transportation director, we visited 3 different transportation facilities to start getting some ideas and that sort of thing. That was back in February. We started, took some pieces from each of those and put them into one, designed our own pretty much, scaled down models of Fayette County, along with some things that we got from also Pickens and Gilbert. And then we started trying to find an architect. So again, we interviewed several architects. We chose Bro and Associates. Y'all got to meet Bro and Associates in our board meeting there. It was in May of 20. Then we were very fortunate in getting property. We had a diamond in the rough with the county government. They declined to purchase the property at Toccoa, and our county attorney, the county attorney is also our board attorney, Ms. Doss. Ms. Doss talked to Mr. Helton at the time and said, "Hey, why don't you reach out to the school system?" Of course, we'd wrote a check the next day if we could, but we was very blessed to get that property. So we started, looking at plans. The architect brought us some drawings, and we started making adjustments to it, and then discussions were made, that's a whole lot of property for that one building, so what about a staff development center? So again, reached back out to the architect, and we give them some plans. He started drawing up, and then Robert, scroll down just a little bit. We went through the process of selecting a CM at risk, that is Bowen and Watson. I actually spoke to them yesterday. And so again, we've done everything that, this has been an ongoing process. We're at the point now to where, let's see, when was it? Actually, we showed August 13th, actually showed drawings at the board meeting, and y'all sort of give me a verbal clue on which option you liked of what the staff development center would look like. So again, we've taken it at that point, so we've had the core drilling done. We're at the point now, just sort of skipping all the rest of it going down there, Robert. We're at the point now to where the plans have been reviewed by the staff members of Fannin County School System. Mr. Galloway was involved in some of the decision making because he was in the, he was at a neighboring school district. So again, he helped us with that. Mike Spurgeon was big involved in this, of course, the central office staff. But we went through multiple changes and additions and deletions from all the plans that we presented. And today was the deadline for all the bid documents to go to Bowen and Watson. Back at the last 2 board members sort of give you bulleted points on where we're at. And we're at that point now. So again, we did the last board meeting, Bowen and Watson sent those bids out. The deadline was today. He are now going to start compiling all the bids that he received that was sent out. And he anticipates, he's actually, and I will confirm this tomorrow, but he thinks he can be ready for next Thursday to present you with some hard dollars, hard amounts, and say, yes, we want to accept this. We're going to start building, start signing contracts, that sort of thing. So if it's agreeable to everybody, if y'all can have a called board meeting next Thursday, we can put numbers in front of you. You can approve it or not approve it, and we'll go to the next step after that.
All right, thank you, Mr. Danner. Does anybody have any questions or comments on that? Mr. Galloway? You good? Okay. All right, so call board meeting next Thursday. Is it realistic for members?
I'm anxious.
Yes, sir.
All right, all I've got to do is know exactly the time so I can make sure that Bowen and Watson is here and also our architect firm's here. So when y'all confirm that, let me know and I'll get in touch with them to make sure they're available. But I know Bowen and Watson's available and I'm about 99% sure Bro and Associates are available as well.
Would 4 o'clock work on Thursday?
Yes, sir.
Gentlemen?
I'll be here.
Sir?
I said, I will be here.
Great. So there's your time, 4 o'clock next
4
Thursday.
o'clock next Thursday. I'll actually text them as soon as I get back. And I am not the time police for whatever reason. I've got that, but Lucas did go 31 minutes. So
Somebody time him next Thursday. Thank you, Mr. Danner. Well done. Mr. Danner, you have done a great job. This is a great deal of organization, and thank you so much for what you're doing for the future of Fannin County with this. Next item on the agenda is approved district financial report, so we're going to invite Ms. Wynn to the podium. She's already there because Ms. Wynn is very efficient, and here she is. So, Ms. Wynn, good evening.
Good evening, Dr. Gwatney. Good evening, Board. Tonight, we have our financial report for our general fund for November the 30th, 2020. We're at 41.66% complete for our fiscal year. Our revenues, our local revenues are at 28.31% versus 31.45% of the prior year. Our total revenues are at 33.53% versus 35.99% from the prior year. And our total expenditures are at 36.86% versus 39.07% from the prior year. And that presents our financial statement.
And we are healthy, so happy to make the recommendation, Board, to approve the financials as presented.
Can the chair get a motion to approve the financials?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, or is there any discussion? Sorry. All in favor?
And thank you. We have SPLOST updates, plural, because we received a letter from the Georgia Department of Revenue this week. So you want to speak to that, Ms. Wynn?
We did, and this letter from the Department of Revenue actually states our ending SPLOST and then our approved SPLOST that will start April 1 of 2021 with the expiration date of March 31st, 2026, and to raise up to $34.5 million. So that's the new eSPLOST that will start after we finish this SPLOST that's coming up.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments on that? So let's go back, since we're still in SPLOST 4 through the month of March. Let's talk about the latest collection in SPLOST 4, Ms. Wynn.
Our latest collection was $678,120.44. We collected that in December for the month of November, which that's 18.1% growth. We also had $868.10 of catch-up, which they do that twice a year for the SPLOST. So that brings us to a total collection. Right now we have $48,000 left to collect before we reach the maximum, but since our SPLOST is not in until March of 2021, we have December and 3 more months to add to that for this SPLOST.
All right, well done. And that doesn't require approval. It's presented for information only, so.
It is. It's for information only.
Thank you. We're thankful for that SPLOST.
Thank you.
And thankful we're debt-free. All right. Ms. Finley, item number 16, E-rate.
Yes, this is my first time actually coming to you and asking for approval for an E-rate project. E-rate cycles they're federal monies that they give us to spend on network infrastructure to basically provide internet to our students. They run on 5-year cycles, and so when I came into this job 4 years ago, you had just finished up a project. And rather than start a new 5-year cycle this time last year, they just did a 6-year extension and gave us a little bit more money for each school. And what they do is they give you an amount, and the amount they gave us was $146,863.15, and they say we'll pay 80% of this if you pay 20% for a project up to this value. The good news is the new one that's rolling out this year that we'll be bidding on is not per school. We can use it as a district. This cycle does give you a specific amount per school. So Scott and I, this time last year, sat down and discussed what our big next project would be, and consulted with our network engineers that we use. And we need to start replacing our switch stacks in our schools. They're about to be end of life and won't be able to be supported anymore, and so that's a very expensive project. It's a lengthy project. Will take probably a couple years to finish, and we'll probably do our next E-rate project to finish this out, but this is going to start us off. And so what we're going to do is start replacing our top switch, which is our power over Ethernet switches, which we plug all of our wireless points into, and our cameras. And so those are a different brand than what we have in the whole switch stack. So we want to purchase Cisco switches so they will be able to talk, and we can eventually, our goal is to have them all the same in the same stack that can communicate, and Scott can manage them all in one management system. Again, that's a 3-year project out, but this is the first step. And so we were able to finagle switches and the extra products we needed. And so basically what's so great about this is it's, like I said, a $146,000 project, and we only owe $29,000 when we're done, and E-rate pays for the rest. And so all you have to do today is approve the $29,000, because that's what we'll pay out, and the company that won our bid when we put out what they call the 470 back last spring was MDSI, and we've worked with them before. They're a great company. We look forward to working with them again if you grant us the approval to get started with this project.
So this is complicated, I can tell you from firsthand
It's very
experience. And Ms. Finley's doing a great job working through this, and as you can see, the complication is worth the effort, because we're basically getting federal funds to assist us with our network improvements at little cost to us locally. So this is a tremendous value. It's well worth the tremendous effort to make this happen. So first I want to say thank you for what you've done to put this together. And I think you and Mr. Mathis and the technology department, the team, have really done a good job identifying and targeting with the network to really keep us moving in the right direction on this. So with that said, Mr. Chair, I'd like to make the recommendation that we approve the E-rate Form 471 and technology purchases as presented tonight by Ms. Finley.
Can the chair have that motion?
You do have that motion.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Okay, thank you, Board. The next item is number 17, to approve purchase of technology hardware, and this is Ms. Finley. You want to just go ahead and carry on with
Yes, so basically this is kind of what's left over, what we could not get out of that $146,000. So these are the rest of those PoE switches at the schools that we couldn't fit into that grant and make them pay the 80% for. Basically, this is what's left over. And now, again, this is just for those PoE switches. This is just, like I said, the beginning of the project, but this will get us off on a good start. Actually, the only one of these that reaches that $25,000 threshold is the high schools, which are $32,000 worth of additional switches. But because they collectively are over $25,000 in good faith, we present them to you separately. So, but again, we'll do this project all at the same time with MDSI per your approval.
I appreciate the disclosure and adhering to the spirit of the admin reg on this, so thank you, Ms. Finley. So, Mr. Chair, I make the recommendation to approve this hardware as presented for the additional items for the infrastructure.
Chair seeking that motion.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
All right, well done, Ms. Finley. Thank you.
I do want to say thanks to Scott, because he's in the background and I get to sit up here and talk about it, but he's the one who goes through and finds the products and works with the engineers, and he's already working on next year's project, so we'll be talking about that soon, but he does a lot of work on that. Not only does he have to go fix everything, he has to do all this paperwork for us too, so I appreciate that.
Yeah. Good job, Mr. Mathis. Quote master. All right, thank you, Ms. Finley. The next item on the agenda, number 18, this one's the one I kind of referenced earlier about the SGT. So we're going to invite Assistant Superintendent Sarah Rigdon back up to the front and tell us about this purchase request.
Okay, absolutely. So this is a memo from Mrs. Allison Danner to me requesting that they be allowed to purchase the Lou Interactive Playground. As I mentioned a few moments ago, each Title I school received $40,750 in carryover funds for this school year. Based on their school improvement plan, their comprehensive needs assessment, surveys, discussions on their faculty and staff, and also with their SGT, they determined that their greatest need would be met by purchasing the Lou Interactive Playground. Y'all did see a little bit of a snippet of video that came from YouTube, which is it's really, really cool. It does exceed the amount that I can sign off on. So it exceeds $25,000. It's actually for $25,778. It does include the installation to be able to get that in there. Luckily, Ms. Danner has got some connections with the maintenance lead, with the maintenance director, and so she was able to get to secure some permission and some approval to go ahead and purchase the system. And so I'm coming to you to ask for your permission. It has already been approved by the Georgia Department of Education and also by West Fannin Elementary's SGT, and so y'all are the final layer of approval for this expense.
Okay, this is an exciting piece of technology. This is something, it's depending on how this works out. I mean, I could see this at the other schools.
Absolutely. Ms. Heather Finley has also been involved, and she's anticipating that once people see this in action, that the requests will probably come rolling in.
Yeah.
Is this the thing that we saw at the West Fannin?
Yes, it is.
Drew people.
It's a projection that it creates an interactive surface for the kids, and it's actually trying to incorporate physical movement with actually some academic tasks. And so it should be a great tie-in for our kids to be able to be physically active while also learning standards and things that they are already supposed to be learning in school. So it's to make learning fun. So it's very customizable. They're extremely excited about it.
That's neat. Mr. Chair, I make the recommendation to approve the Lou Interactive Playground as presented.
I'll make a motion that we approve the Lou for purchase.
Second.
Is there any more discussion? All in favor?
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Rigdon. All right, our next item is CTAE surplus property bid, and Mr. Roof.
Good evening again. Last board meeting, we had some different CTAE equipment that was up for surplus, and with your approval, we were able to do that. And so then we had, the entire time between now and then where people were able to come and look at the equipment and see if they wanted the equipment, and we had payment for lots 1, 2, and 3, and then Jeffrey Dale was able to get the equipment for lot 4. And so this sheet shows you the different values there and the total price. Mr. Inslee, could you, there we go, the letter, that the bid for lots 1, 2, and 3 be awarded to Ronald Cruz, and the lot 4 be awarded to Jeffrey Dale with your permission there to do that.
Okay, make that recommendation, Mr. Chair, as presented.
Can the chair get a motion to approve the CTAE surplus property?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Excellent. Thank you. Thank y'all.
All right, thank you. Okay, item number 20, Mr. Inslee.
Yes, sir. I placed on your table the outcome of our self-assessment that our board did this past month. And this is part of our local board training that we have to do for our GSBA to be the exemplary board. Our board takes a survey with all the different standards on it, and I'm pleased to say that our board all were in agreement that we were satisfactory in all standards. So I wanted to make sure that we provided you a copy of that to where you could see that. Our next step will be the external review, where we'll have 2 board members, 2 community members, and myself, along with Dr. Watney, that will take this survey, and we'll go through it and explain it kind of to the community, and I look at it from that standpoint, answering questions that we may have, and then we'll present that to the board, and that'll be upcoming in probably February. So we'll use it late February. No action is needed on this.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Inslee. Does anybody have any questions? I want to say thank you to the board for taking the time to go through this self-assessment.
Do we need to choose 2 board members tonight for?
You're welcome to, but we don't have to tonight. If you,
Okay, that's fine. I just didn't know.
All right, any other questions? Okay, then 20 just ties right into 21. Mr. Inslee?
Absolutely. We've had one of our trainings. We had a retreat back in December, had a great day. We visited Fannin County High School, and we visited West Fannin, as we've been referenced a couple different times from seeing the Lou and the SGT meeting, and just a lot of cool things, and went to the high school, saw welding and a lot of CTAE programs and the school itself. Just a great, great day, and so we're looking at setting up our next one. We're looking at possibly February, maybe. And we'll kind of get with you and kind of get some dates for that. But our next one, we will be going to East Fannin, we'll be going to Blue Ridge, and we'll be going to the middle school. We'll be looking at the technology initiatives, and we'll also be looking at our facilities updates. And so that'll be another 6-hour training, which will actually complete our training for the year. And I have been in contact, or I've reached out to GSBA to see from Tony Arossi to see if they're going to extend the deadline this year like they did last year to September the 30th, but I have not heard back yet. So I would like to be able to submit like we normally do before April 1st and have all of our stuff done. It was very fortunate for us that we were able to do that last year before the pandemic hit, so we were already submitted. So I'd like for us to be able to do that again if we possibly can. But we'll be able to see a lot of the things from technology from the bus garage. We'll hopefully be able to see where the facilities are at that point, all the technology that's going on through Ms. Finley's program. Just a lot. There's, as you can see tonight, there's a lot of technology that was purchased. So it'll be I'm excited. I love those days, and I hope you guys do too, because we want to get you guys in the schools.
Thank you, Mr. Inslee. Any questions for him? Okay, so more information to come on that one. So that's just an update for you. Okay, Mr. Chair, item number 22, executive session. This will be for the purposes of personnel and property.
Chair, entertain a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Okay, if the assistant superintendents would join the board and me, and we'll follow Mr. Danner right here.
While in executive session, no action was taken, so at this time I'll entertain a motion to come out of executive session.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? But we do need to approve our minutes from our executive session from 12/10 of 2020. So at this time, I'll ask for a motion that we approve the minutes from our last executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Turn the floor back over to you, sir.
All right, thank you, sir. Let's go ahead and look at the personnel sheet for item number 23, personnel. I'll give you a moment to get that opened up. And if you'll join me, the personnel sheet is dated January 14th, 2021. We have resignations. The first resignation is Donna Gray, effective date 12/16/2020, pending replacement with a certified teacher. Make that recommendation, Mr. Chair.
Okay, Chair, have that motion.
So make that motion. Second.
All in favor?
Thank you. The next recommendation is a resignation of Francis Lowry, effective date 1/15/21, pending replacement with a certified teacher.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you. The next recommendation for resignation is Wes Kimsey, effective date 1/22/21.
That motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Okay, the next resignations both have effective dates of 1/29/21. I will take these together with the same resignation date, effective Carmen Booth and Robert Taylor, 1/29/21. Make that recommendation for both, Mr. Chair.
And Chair, have that motion.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
The next resignation is Keith Knuckles, effective date 4/1/21, pending replacement with a certified administrator. Make that recommendation, Mr. Chair.
Can the Chair have that motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Next recommendation for resignation is Candace Sisson, effective date 5/31/21. Make that recommendation, Mr. Chair.
Can the Chair have that motion?
So moved.
I second it reluctantly.
All in favor?
All right. Recommendations, all of these are pending completion of paperwork, background check, and certification. Taylor Ledford, teacher, effective 1/15/21. Make that recommendation, Mr. Chair.
Can the Chair have that motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Gretchen Burrell Gordon, teacher, effective date 1/19/21. Make that recommendation, Mr. Chair.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Donna Yates, paraprofessional, effective date 1/19/21. Make that recommendation, Mr. Chair.
Can the Chair have that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Okay, Lisa Jackson, central registrar, effective date March 1st, 2021. Make that recommendation, Mr. Chair.
Can the Chair have that motion?
So moved.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Okay. Pepper McDonald for the Transportation Department. Make that recommendation, Mr. Chair.
Chair looking for that motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Okay, we have one substitute nutrition recommendation pending completion of paperwork, background check, and training. This is Aaron Golden. Make that recommendation, Mr. Chair.
Okay, Chair have that motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you. And we have recommendations for substitute teacher. Again, all of these are pending completion of paperwork, background check, and certification. I'll make these collectively. Kaylin Contardi, Kelly Maniscalco, Deborah Snow, and Robin Welker. Make those recommendations, Mr. Chair.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Okay, thank you. That concludes personnel. Candy, you good? Okay, thank you. Comments this evening? Item number 24. First, I want to just thank everybody for being here, and those of us that are watching online and those of you who are present here in the Performing Arts Center, thank you so much. All the presentations that were done this evening were great. I'd like to just kind of take a part of what Dr. Ramsey shared, and he brought to light the importance of the extracurricular and the teachers and the staff and the admin, and I want to extend that to the whole district. The folks, I would be remiss not to thank our faculty, our staff, our admin, everybody for being a team player and doing what they can do to get the kids here to school. You know, it was mentioned during one of the presentations that online learning for Fannin County Schools is not our long-term intention. It's just something that we have in place to help during the pandemic. And it's our thought that we want to get all of our kids back in school as soon as possible. That was the sentiment today. Governor Kemp gave his State of the State address, and he was clear that he wants students back in schools. So we appreciate that as well. Board, I'd like to just take a moment to just express condolences for the loss of former Board of Education member Mike Queen. He's a good friend to many of us, and I had the opportunity to know him through the years and thought a lot of him. We've got a group of people who go above and beyond here in the school district. I call them the FCSS road crew. And we've had 4 closures and a delay, plus many more additional checks, and those start at usually 4 a.m.-ish. And we had 2 of them this week that we were out earlier this week, 4 a.m.-ish, trying to make a decision about school. Fortunately, we were able to have school. So Denver, thank you. Darren, thank you. Robert, Sarah, Lucas Roof, thank you. And I'm going to give an honorable mention here, too. We got Frankie Rigdon on our crew, too. So we get some help from ETC checking the roads as well. So the 6 or 7 of us out there looking, we're very, very thankful to have them. And because safety is number one. That was also said during one of the presentations this evening, and that is the truth. As you may recall, 3 of our board members were sworn in at the December meeting. And I would like to once again congratulate you 3 that were sworn in, as well as the other Fannin County elected officials who were sworn in during December after that. I wish all of you, and this goes out to our friends over at county government as well, all of them the best as they begin their new terms serving the citizens and you, the children of Fannin County. Our dear friend Candy right here, I've known her for years. I'm on the board at MEC. I'll say that Mountain Education, and she's one of the initial hires when that program was launched. One of the founding employees of MEC before she came to Fannin County School System in 1994, and it's going to be difficult to imagine working here without you. Our moms worked together at Morganton in East Fannin. I got to work with your mom at East Fannin. Your dad was a professor. You were a business teacher. Just grown up in education. You are an exceptional teacher and leader and person. And I wish you the best in retirement. It's hard to believe that it's time to retire. And neighbor, when I was 10 years at the Tech, you were my next door neighbor. Gonna miss you. And another one, it's hard for me to believe that, is time for him to leave, is Mr. Keith Knuckles. Keith retired actually from North Carolina as an administrator, and he came to us in 2015, and he has been nothing but a blessing for the Fannin County School System.
Amen.
My wife and daughter and love him, and so do so many others, including me. Mr. Knuckles, you want to talk a little bit about what's going on in your life? Because this is coming as a surprise to many people that you are leaving. Because you just day in, day out, you're fantastic. You want to talk to us?
Good evening, gentlemen, and those. I do want to share just a little bit of my heart. We're all led and guided in this life by the Spirit, whether we recognize that or not. And while being given opportunity to come and to be a part of this, I've built relationships that are probably going to last forever. And I hope that's the case anyway. I appreciate the opportunity to serve, but for quite a while, and you'll have to follow me if you don't understand, the Holy Spirit's been dealing with me to put me into something that I also have done, and He's enabled me to do for about 25 years. And a door's open, And when you try to live right, that's fine, but you better live right by scriptural standards instead of your own. When you try to live by scriptural standards, you begin to see doors open and doors close. And the doors are closing here for me, and they've closed. I'm not finished, but I've got to move on. And when I was a young guy, I always looked forward to that word retirement. As I get older, there's no such thing. And you just jump from, I don't know, you can call it a lily pad or you can call it a toadstool. I don't know, but you just keep jumping and jumping, and I'm dependent on the Spirit to lead me. And it is with a heavy heart that I leave this system. I love the leadership, I love the people. The school I have is nothing short of wonderful. The kids are outstanding. And as that door closes, I'm asking you to be prayerful, be joyful for what I'm about to do. But there's a bigger issue. Be wise on who's next. We've worked hard to build a really nice school. Put somebody in there that you feel led is the right person. And I know the SGT is going to be in charge of that primarily, but you're going to have a role also of encouraging. So it's going to take an entire system to help fill gaps where I'm at. I hope you be prayerful with that first, because I'm not going to be one of these that when I leave, I won't ever come back. I'll probably come and pester you. And I hope that happens anyway. I'm thankful for the opportunity that will be close to 5 years. I hate to leave in the middle of the school year. But when you got to go, you got to go. And God bless y'all. I thank you so much for that. Dr. Gwatney, I appreciate you very much.
Yes, sir.
Godspeed.
So, and I've had the opportunity to go to his church and hear him preach. He does a fantastic job, and both in person and online. It's no doubt the decision that he's making when you see that. So, with that, that's all I have. I just want to say thank you, Board.
Anybody want to volunteer? Start with you, Mr. Cole.
You know, I really think that I look across this room and it's all family to me. I mean, I know we had to be elected to be here, but it's family. I talked to many of you. I feel like I know you, Mr. Knuckles and Miss Candy, like family. And on Sunday, I picked up the phone and called somebody. I was like, well, maybe I shouldn't do that. Take a little more protocol, Mr. Roof. So, but I feel like family. And, Dr. Ramsey, don't have interaction with you, but I feel connected. I like your excitement and giving your presentation. I don't know. I don't look at it as a job. I mean, it's a family thing. I look at Officer Summers, and we call him Officer, but I see him revving up the kids and talking to them about their birthday, and he's got the whole lunchroom roaring. That's important to me. It's important to me that to have that kind of relationship, and I'm thankful for these men that really just love this place. If you know me, my passion is CTEA, and I am so excited about what's going on because I need some of them kids to come to my place. I need them to come help me, teach me something. I've got a lot of good toys they would enjoy playing with, and so I'm excited. I'm excited about the building of a transportation center, and I hear those bus drivers that are so excited to have something, a new home. It just is exciting. I miss Miss Sarah Welch. I want her to get back. I want her to get healthy. So I want to encourage you with this. And I believe Mr. Knuckles would agree with me, but I say it every single day. Because my word says the word is seed. You got to plant seed. Psalm 91 says that no plague shall come nigh thy dwelling. I repeat that every single day, not just over my house, but over this school system. Me and my little girl on the way to school, we hold hands and we pray and we quote Psalm 91. So with that said, tomorrow morning when you get up, you continue to repeat that with me. Because if one can put 1,000, two can put 10,000. And I'm done. Thank you so much.
Mr. Beard. Well, I had a long list, but I'm going to narrow it down this time. Anyhow, I'd like to thank our law enforcement SROs. They're a treasure for our school. And I don't know of, out of the 5 of them, that we got one that ain't worth a flip. They're all top notch as far as I know. I know them all personally except the younger guy that was up here, and I haven't had the opportunity to mingle with him yet, but I'm sure that he's just as good as the rest of them. So I appreciate our SROs tremendously. Congratulations, Miss Kim Patterson. I'd like to congratulate our board. And I'm not speaking just for me, I'm speaking on the other 4. We got a tremendous board here, and we're all about the children, we're all about our employees, we're all about everything that goes on within the school system. I'd like to thank Mr. Ramsey for his presentation, and also Mr. Rue for his presentation. You know, when I went to West Fannin High School in 1964 through 68, I would have loved to have had some programs like our children have today. And one of the reasons I like for our children to have as many things as they got today, I think they deserve it more than I did. I know Mr. Ramsey said in his presentation, you know, that our job as board members is a thankless job. To some people that may be true, but as I watch the presentations tonight, my job isn't thankless, my job is children. And Mr. Knuckles, I just hate to see you go. I told you were sent here by the Lord when you first come. I still believe that. And I guess if anybody takes you away from it, it's his will. So I got to wish you all the best in the world. And thank you for 5 years. It don't seem like 5 years to me, but thank you for 5 good years that you give our middle school. And the children that's out there, the children that's came through, and to the personnel out there, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And Miss Candy, thank you for all the work that you've done for our kids. For all the hot dogs that you served them, and all the other food that you've seen that they got. You've done a tremendous job too, and thank you so much for doing your job. And I hope after I see you about 6 months after retirement, you can say it's good. I don't like retirement. That's why I went and got another job. I'm going to close with this. I got the coronavirus shot 2 weeks ago, and I'm not telling you that trying to get you to go and get it, but I'm still walking and talking. You know, my doctor got one, and I called him 4 days later, or my wife did, and said, "Is Doc still alive?" She said, "Yeah, he is." So I got my shot. I appreciate everybody here. Have a good night.
Mr. DeWeese.
I have to confess, prior to this meeting, when I got here, I was down and out and depressed. Doom and gloom's all I've heard about this and that, and thought about it, really. But this meeting has really lifted my spirits and encouraged me. Our kids really are blessed. And it's y'all, the people, the educators, the people in our school system that are blessing our children. Your lives are changing lives and molding lives that, as Bobby said, I would like to go back and have that privilege myself on the same quality and same opportunities. It's no wonder that our children are smiling, that they're learning. When you're happy, I guess you do well. So I thank y'all, especially at this time. I'm sure that there's a lot of thoughts that teachers have and administrators, all school personnel. They work in an environment that's threatening. Thank you for caring enough just to put that aside and look for our kids first, because that's a wonderful calling. And to Candy and Mr. Knuckles, I say Godspeed. May the Lord bless and keep you, and like Roy Rogers said, may the good Lord take a liking to you and make the rest of your life really good. So thank y'all.
The hour's late, so I'll be brief. First of all, let me thank Fannin County Farm Bureau for their elected officials breakfast and these Georgia-grown goodie bags that they've left here for us. I appreciate it. There's been several comments tonight, and I go back to my esteemed colleague across the way here. He's talking about family. I have always viewed the Fannin County school system as a family. Dr. Gwatney talked about working with Miss Sisson's mother. I worked with your mother, Dr. Gwatney, when I was president of PTO at East Fannin Elementary School, and she was librarian, media specialist. It truly is like a family, and I value every single member of this team, not just the folks on this stage, but the bus drivers that pick our kids up first thing in the morning and see them last of the day, the entire system, our maintenance crews, everybody. It's an honor to be a part of the team, so thank you from the bottom of my heart. Ms. Sisson and Mr. Knuckles, thank you for the excellence that you have brought to our program. You're a part of this family and will always be so. So wish you the very best, and you will be missed. Thank you.
I'll be brief also. I want to say thank you for everyone that showed up and everyone that is watching. Family's been mentioned a bunch, and that's the best way that I know how to describe it too. It is a family. Even when I worked at Gilmer County, some of the employees that were there that once worked here at this system would come up to me and say that that's what they missed more than anything, was how it felt like a family here. So we've got something special and we need to hang on to it. And going along with that, Mrs. and wish you all the best. Talking about knowing you, I guess, probably when you first come in '94. I remember you coming in. I had the pleasure of your mother being my teacher, my second grade teacher. So go way back with you also. And Mr. Knuckles, I told you a little earlier how I felt about you, sir, and I do mean it. I consider you more of a friend than I do a colleague. So I look up to you, and I thank you for what you've been able to do here, and especially what little bit of time my kids have been around you. I'm thankful for that, and I cherish that. So I wish you the best also. And all the presentations, whether you run long or not, Lucas, I still enjoyed it. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the facts that you snuck in there. That was an overwhelming amount of information, and I appreciate it. So you did a great job. You too, Mr. Ramsey. I appreciated yours as well. So with that, I'd say thank you one more time. And I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?